Hello folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC, coming to you with a very serious public announcement, trying to raise awareness for a condition known as squid head. Do you suffer from squid head and understand the dangers of squid head? Mainly, running into low-hanging RC planes. Anyways, okay, we're going to do the build. I just had to, sorry. We're going to do the build now on the 64mm Rafale, okay? Now, you're going to need a 2mm hex drive to drive the the 4 screws, okay? And you'll need a little Allen wrench. A lot of these little kits come with these little Allen wrenches. You'll need, I got like 100 of them, for one grub screw that's going to go on the landing gear, okay? So I thought it would be easier if right off the bat, the instructions are kind of, I mean, they're step by step. They want you to glue on the vertical stabilizer and the canards first, but I figured, why not put the landing gear on first? Okay, now the landing gear, they're keyed one way. Okay, there's a little hole here. You're going to sink that in there. Make sure you got on the plastic. Sink that in there, and you're going to pull it down, and you'll feel it click in. Okay, these are designed for you to take on and off, you know, so this is pretty strong. When you put it in, don't line the knuckle, the knee of that on the foam up here. Line it up on the plastic, otherwise you're going to make a dent. Kind of get it right there like that, and then just pull it down in place. Okay, so now you got that there. Your nose gear, okay, if you look, you'll see there's a little peg sticking out here, and then there's a hole behind it, okay, like a little triangular shaped hole. Now if you look on your gear, you've got this plastic floating sort of thing. That's going to go in that hole back there, okay? Get that little Allen wrench I was talking about. Little Allen wrench, okay? And you're going to loosen up the grub screw right here. There's a grub screw right there. You're going to loosen it up. Remember, left to loose. Left loosey, like righty tighty. You're going to loosen that up. And if you look on that peg, there's a flat spot right there in the beginning, right there in the top. Now, if I reach down there, you see how that peg, I don't know if you can kind of see it on camera or not. See how it's going in and out? All right, you want that to come out as far as you can. So put your finger down here, and you can see that peg right there. Put your finger on it, holding that in place, making that pin extend out. You can kind of see it there, as far as possible. And you're going to see on camera, but there's a flat spot that faces the front of the plane. That's where the front of that is going to go, and then that other piece, that floating piece, just goes right down there, just like that. Okay. See how that goes, and that way that all stays still. All right, holding that, keeping that in there. Keep your finger on it. Take that, line your front gear up as best you can. Okay, and then that grub screw is going to tighten into that flat spot on the front of that shaft. Okay, you may have to finagle with it just a little bit to get your grub, get your little Allen wrench in there. This is one of those little fiddly things that just takes time, and it can be kind of frustrating, but that's just part of modeling. Just the way it is. Make sure okay, I've got full extended on there as far as it's going to go. Gotta get that Allen wrench. Now if I had a little longer tool that I could use, like a handheld, that is real tiny, but I don't have anything that small. Come on. This is just fiddly. This is time consuming, but you know, it is what it is. I probably loosen it up just a little bit too much. But when it tightens up, you'll know it. I mean, it'll all of a sudden straighten up on you. I've put enough of these models together to know that once it hits that flat spot, suddenly your ear's going to like lock in spot, lock in place. Yep. There, it just caught. Now see, now it's not wanting to move on me. So now all I gotta do is tighten that bad boy up. Now you are going metal to metal, and it's in a metal shaft, so you want to anchor it down. You don't get it so tight you can't ever undo it again. You know, I don't recommend putting Loctite on, even though your metal and the shaft it's in is metal. Don't recommend Loctite because you may accidentally spill a little bit, and Loctite and foam. See? Now only the servo will move that. Looky there. Okay. We do not need to access the battery bay right now. Oh, and that locks down like that. It doesn't just push down. I mean, it locks down. All right, and that's on there. So now we got our Rafale landing gear installed on the Rafale. So let's go ahead, turn our attention to the vertical stabilizer. Okay. Now they have these locking pins, rudder connection here. Now I'm going to be gluing a foam to foam surface. Okay. And what do when we glue foam to foam? We always score the foam. The white exposed raw foam sections, you want to score that, okay? All right, you want to score that. So that's going to sit down in there like that. So I need to score all of that. All right, now I'm going to be using for this, I really like this Gorilla Glue. It's this clear grip, it's foam safe, okay? It does get a little gummy, you know, when you have the tube, but it's got a good strong, come on. I like it. If I can, I really should have got a new tube out. Oh, hold on. We're going to get there. There we go. There we go. Now you're gluing in a control surface, so don't go chinchy on the foam. On the glue, I mean. Okay. All right. Anytime you're connecting anything, okay, servos, it doesn't matter if you've got the brown and yellow and red servo leads, because here on the rudder here, it's got yellow, red, and brown. On this servo lead is white, red, and black. Okay, but the rule of thumb for hooking two servos together, servo leads together, is always light to light, dark to dark. So I'm going to remove this little rudder, or this little rudder tag. It's on this tail here because I don't need it. I know what it is. Why they chose to label something that's obviously the rudder up here, I don't know. Down at the other end of the lead, yeah, that makes sense, but not on this particular part of it. Okay. So I'm going to connect it light to light. In this case, I'm going to connect the white to the yellow. You gotta turn that servo lead in there kind of at a little angle there. And then you just feed that in there, and then those two sections, the little top of them prongs, will click together. Okay? Now, get that down in there like that. Okay. Oh, you know what I need to do? Let's fish that. Grab a hold of that rudder. Okay. Pull some of that string. Well, it's there anyways. All right, fish. Okay, there you go. You're gonna fish that down in there like that. Seat it into place. Pull it back out. Get some of that glue. Get on it kind of stringy. Get some air in there, and then you're gonna press that back down into place like that. Don't go crazy. Just set her down in there like that. Okay. And that's all we're going to do. Sorry about that. The camera stopped, so don't know why. Well, anyways, the canards are the same as the rudder. Okay, we're going to have to glue them on. I've already, you see the white parts of the foam, I've already scored that on both sides. And where the orange graphic, that's what's going to be on the towards the top of the plane. Okay, now what did I do? Let's say, what did I do with my glue? My glue, my glue, my glue. Okay, I'm going to put that on liberally. Okay. Not going to get chinchy with it. This does affect how the plane flies. Okay, that just goes. You're obvious here, the white section's right in there. There. Push that in there like that. Pull it apart, and then put it back in there again. All right. Okay. Gonna let that sit in there for just a second. You know, think about the weather, the dangers of squid head, you know, all those things. Okay. All right, we're gonna take the other canard. Get some glue on that bad boy. Okay. And we're going to glue that one in. Pull it apart, get some air in there, give it back. Okay. Now, that's that. Take a pitot tube or your refueling tube. This is a little section right here. You don't have to do this right now, but why not? You see how it just kind of has to go this way. Oh, maybe not. Hold on, we'll hold on to that for just a second. Now, one thing you're going to want to do, you can do it now, you can do it whenever, but when you take the fuselage out and before you start building with this plane, one thing I found, you're going to want to go ahead and right here on either side, you've got an opening on both sides, okay? On one of my, that's where you're going to pull out your aileron or your elevon lead, okay? Well, on one side, mine I couldn't see it. It was hidden, okay? And that's why you want to get you these kind of little tools right here. They're awesome for reaching in. I put it at an angle, I can see the wire, reach in there with that hook part and pull that out. These little tools here, a couple of bucks at Walmart, lifesaver. Huge, huge help. Okay, I was able to pull that out. All right, so we're going to take, it's obvious where this goes, and again, just like before, you're going to hook up your, go ahead and take your wing tube, feed it on through, kind of a twisting motion. Okay, spar. You see how there's your servo. You've got two holes here where it's going to lead it's obvious where it hooks up. Just kind of hold the wing off to one side. Remember, every time you're hooking up a servo lead, it's obvious. It just kind of fishes in there at a little bit of an angle. Right, light to light, dark to dark. Line up your wing tube there. Okay. Fish that in there. Get it straight. Let your wires kind of crank a little bit. You want to kind of accordion it, try in an accordion type idea. Is what you're looking at. Remember, you're going to need that 2mm drive. Oh, and another thing, do yourself a huge favor. When you buy these, also get some of these little metal trays. That way you don't lose your screws, and Lord knows I've got enough loose screws. Okay, I'm going to take them off the side. And this is when I lose them. I take them out of the tray. Okay, I'm going to take a 2mm hex drive. Get ready. Get your model ready to receive. You're going to do this from the underside. Be careful not to hit your canards. You know, and because of them canards, I wouldn't recommend putting this on. You know what? Well, I wouldn't recommend putting this on a stand for that exact reason. Get one in nice, okay? You'll be able to tell. It'll just start. You'll see the seam. You'll see the seam will be kind of obvious, but as you screw it in tight, that seam gets less and less and less, and then it bottoms out on you. Okay, that's in there. Now I'll be able to push. Oh, I got a little piece of foam or something. A little burr right there. And that's causing that wing. Well, you always keep your knife handy. It's causing that wing not to want to settle. It's just a little bit on that. Yeah, see that wing. The little piece of hard plastic that was kind of turned up on the underside of this plastic doubler, causing that wing not to set all the way. So that was a problem. Okay, this is kind of fiddly because I got two parts that I just glued. So I'm going to put against my belly here. Keep them canards away from me. I'm not touching the vertical stabilizer. I'm going to hold that wing in there. Okay. And I'm going to try to get this to feed in there. It can be a little fiddly. You may have to kind of adjust it, move back and forth. But once it grabs, it's obvious. It's very obvious. Okay. Well, this is where that particular screwdriver messes up. The screwdriver screws up. It's adjustable, and the part that goes in there has a little grub screw. Well, it's just, I've used it for so many years, so it starts to move on me. All right, starting to look an awful lot suspiciously like an airplane. And this is kind of cool, the fact that it sits straight. All right, we're going to put this on here. I say that, look, it just fell. Remember the rule, light to light, dark to dark, regardless of the type of or the white, black, or red, or the yellow, red, and brown. It's always light to light, dark to dark, no matter what, when you're hooking servo leads together. And if you don't do it that way, you're going to fire up your plane, get it all juiced up, get her all bound up, and you're going to wonder why that control surface is not working. Well, now you got to take it apart and start over with your servo leads. Now, again, here's where I'm going to take this plane. I'm going to kind of wedge it against my belly. Now, I'm not doing any real pressure. I'm just holding it in place, okay? Now I'm going to get one, like this right here. This time, this seam is closer together. So I should have, in theory, less problems getting this screw to come in, to go in there. I say that, and looky there. Murphy's Law, right? Let's try that one. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me on camera. Okay. Okay. This is just part of modeling. I'm trying to keep away from. You want to, whatever you do, just hold it in such a way. Be cognizant of what you got freshly glued and still settling. In this case, it'd be the canards. Okay. Okay, yeah. It starts to bite. Like I said, you'll feel it. You'll feel it when it bites. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Now, when you get all done, you should have one grub screw and one of these little hex head screws left over. They gave you one extra, which I think is a nice touch. FMS normally does that. It gives you one extra. Now, E-flite lots of times will give you just what you need. So if you drop one, lose it, guess what you got to order? And you can't just order that screw. You got to buy the whole screw set. You got to buy the whole thing. So for one screw, you may have to spend $25. Okay, those are in there. And that's there. Well, now I got both wings on there. Okay. Now we can put on our handy dandy battery hatch. We have a Rafale. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the armament on so we get the full effect. Now you look at the ends. Now there's not much to grab a hold of underneath this thing. You look at the ends and you can see how these key in. All this armament is the same way. Okay? Slides in and then you just pull back on it. Okay? This one goes over here. Slide it in, key it in, pull back. Okay? Push it in place. That looks really, really good. Turn the model over. Turn the model over. When cooking lobster, first kill lobster. Let's look at the manual because I want to figure out, as I put glue in my mouth, do the tanks go, tanks probably go towards the inside, and the other missiles go, no. Yeah. Hold on. You know what? Let me look at the picture. Tanks go all the way out. These go here. Careful with them canards, it's still not dry yet. Alright. Set her down. Set her down. I wonder if I can put them there. Let me try this. Because it's not really labeled per se. Yeah, the tanks go all the way out. That way you can see the graphics on the sides there. They just go, they drop down in the key, but then you possibly, very tight, that slides in. The graphic side out, here I'm doing surgery on my plane, I'm hovering over it right now. Come on. Okay, that is on there. Trying to be as careful as possible. Sometimes when you're trying to be super careful, that's when you break things. But there you go. That is the basic build of one. Oh, wait. Sorry. Do have one more step. And I've got to figure out, I know this thing's going to go forward. Does not say anything. I read the instructions ahead of time. It didn't say anything about this being glued. Glue it on. Let's refer back to the instructions. Okay, camera overheated and I had to shut it off for a second. Well, actually, it shut itself off. Well, anyways, I got that refueling tube. Just kind of pops in. You'll feel it snap in. So, but anyways, there you go. That is the 64mm FMS Rafale. And just look. Oh, excuse me, I burped. What a gorgeous, gorgeous model that is. That's got to be the most detailed model, small jet that I've ever owned. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. But look at that. Yeah, I'm very pleased. Very, very pleased. Just to give you a few insights on the model. Like I said, it does have the reflex system. Offers a high rate and a low rate, but that's going to be in millimeters up and down. I like to use percentages, so more than likely, I'll probably do 3 rates on it. My high, of course, will be 100% over 15% expo. My mid rate will probably, or actually, you know what? My high rate will probably be 80 because this is a jet. So it'll be like 80, 85 over 15%. My mid rate will probably be 70 over 15%, and then my low rate will probably be 60 over 15% expo, all the way around. But I've only got 3 control surfaces. I got rudder and then elevons. So that's that. Let me see if we can find out where the CG is on this plane, or where it says it is. Actually might be closer to the front. But the instructions are typical FMS instructions. In other words, excellent instructions. Yeah, they're putting this model together. There's really, it's very intuitive. Yeah, okay, 90 to 100 degree, 90 to 100 millimeters directly back from, to give you a landmark. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but to give you a landmark, basically about ½ inch back, or maybe an inch back from the rear of the canards. Okay, so if you look on the model to give you a reference point, okay, here's the end of the canards, about the top of that decal there, right about there, all the way across. So you see this, there's this little like an antenna nipple, whatever, sticking up right here. That's basically where your CG is going to be. So you'll be able to put your battery in there, put your fingers. Let's look at that underneath. Directly underneath would be probably, see these, I'll measure of course, but you see these plastic doublers here? Right before that screw. Right before that screw. Of course, I don't have a battery in there yet. But right before that screw. Now, I've watched Mary Boozer and some of the other people. As far as I know, I may be the first person to get to review this. Well, it's not a normal big-time reviewer, hopefully. But from what they're all doing is they're putting that battery as far forward as you can because of where that CG is. Now, being this is a Delta wing, it should be very efficient. You should get some really good flight times out of here. So, well, anyways, I'm gonna get her all put together now. Next thing I'll be doing will be my radio setup. So, all right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then planes. God bless you. I have to go to the, and don't forget, no squid head.